Hi guys! Today I'm working on an amateur radio transceiver. It's a handheld TRX, which is the abbreviation for transceiver, and it's 25 years old. I really like the compact design, so I want to fix a defect. The TRX intermittently does not receive signals, like here on my test signal on 431.995 MHz, and this problem occurs when I wiggle the antenna. What do you think? Is a TRX which runs hours on just two regular AA battery cells, just weighs 170 grams, has a receiving frequency range from 30 MHz to mind-blowing 1.3 GHz, with a triple conversion super heterodyne receive system, can demodulate AM, FM and wideband FM signals, and can transmit in the VHF and UHF amateur radio bands not desirable? I think it is. But I haven't found any current device on the market that comes close to these features. That's why I decided to repair the device. I have already opened it. My first suspicion was that the solder joint between the antenna socket and the circuit board might have broken. Unfortunately, this is not the case. In order to take a closer look at the circuit board, I had to unsolder this solder joint on the shielding, as well as unscrewing a few screws. Now I can simply remove the RF port. It's a very compact module. The logic board is underneath. Everything looks neat and tidy. There are the main components of the device. My second guess is that the soldering pad of the antenna socket may have come loose or has another problem. But the pad looks good. The soldering on the shielding plate on the right is not broken either. I can't see other mechanical damage at all. Let's see if there's anything else in the mounting area of the antenna socket. Aha! Here I see some green chunks where the socket was mounted. Let's take a closer look at the antenna socket. Ah yes, here you can see it very clearly. Several green crystals are in the lower area of the socket. That is strange. What is that? Well, the socket is probably nickel plated. Then this is probably due to the formation of nickel acetate and possibly also copper acetate. This chemical connection occurs because naturally occurring acetic acid in the atmosphere reacts chemically with the nickel of the galvanized brass socket or the brass underneath over a long period of time. To remove these crystals, I clean the antenna socket with isopropanol and a brush. This should remove the coarse dirt. Of course, this has to be done all around. But the green discoloration in the threads is really stubborn. No matter how hard I brush it, I cannot clean it to 100%. This is what the result looks like now. At least much better than before. But the antenna socket also has a ground clamp. If we take a closer look at this, you can see the dirt and these greenish crystals here too. Couldn't it be that these corrosion products increase the electrical resistance? I want to measure that. Okay, if I hold the test probes directly together, we have 0.2 ohms. That is my reference value. Let's see what resistance value I measure on the surface of the ground clamp. Wow! 10, 20, 80, 50, 100 ohms. And if I measure somewhere else, the values are even higher. Let's have a look if the socket itself has such high values in the contact area. It looks good here, but is it the same all around? Yes, that looks good. Hold on. This could be the cause of the device's reception problems. The ground clamp of the SMA socket is only pressed on when screwed onto the nut in order to create a flat electrical contact with the housing of the socket. Over a long period of time, the same corrosion layers can form on the surfaces, which are probably also nickel-plated here. These are not electrically conductive, and without a good ground connection, the received and transmitted RF signal is significantly attenuated. This could therefore be the cause of the very poor reception. For comparison, a lamp would also not light up if only one of its poles was connected. So I have to clean the ground clamp of dirt and corrosion too. To do this, I fill this cup with some oxide-dissolving cleaning agent. Then I soak the ground clamp in it for about 2 hours. To ensure that nothing evaporates, I put this plate on the cup as a lid. Okay, 2 hours have passed. Now I want to take the part out of the bath. First, I shake it a little so that the dirt continues to come off. Now I can take it out. I will brush the part to remove the stubborn dirt mechanically. This side of the part is particularly important because it serves as the contact surface. But also the other side still needs to be brushed off. This is what the clean part looks like now. Everything is shiny again. The green crystals are no longer visible. The cleaner worked very well here. But it's not about the visual appearance, it's primarily about the electrical contact. Let's measure what the surface resistance looks like now. I'm measuring again like before. Yippee! The values are much better. Even if I move the measuring tip, the readings are no longer high. If that worked so well, then I can now remove the last remnants of the green crystals from the antenna socket. The part has to be absolutely clean, so I'm putting also the antenna socket in the bath with this special cleaner for 2 hours. Enjoy your bath, little socket. And I'm also putting the nut of the dial knob in there because it looks pretty dirty too. So 2 hours have passed again. Now I can take both parts out. I'm going to brush them off now too. Look how well the dirt is coming off the threads now. No comparison to before. The collar, which serves as the contact surface, also has to be thoroughly brushed off. I'm also brushing off the nut. Look how the surface starts to shine again. This is what the antenna connector looks like now. Like new. Absolutely clean. The nut also looks very good now. I'm very happy with this result. To remove the cleaner residue from the surfaces, I put both parts in a bath of isopropanol. This washes away also all the residue of the oxide dissolving cleaning agent. Now a little movement for the bath to intensify the cleaning. So I think that's enough. Now the parts can be taken out again. Of course, I also cleaned the other parts as well. But now I also clean the tweezers, and then the parts can dry. Now it's time to reassemble the TRX. Okay, after all this hard work, I want to see if the intermittent defect on the antenna connector is repaired now. The antenna connector and the ground lamp need to be aligned correctly. Otherwise, the board does not fit. It's a bit tricky to keep all parts aligned while screwing the nut on. I don't have the special tool for the special nut, but to screw it on I can use my tweezers. For that final torque, I use my screwdriver. With a bit of force, I can tighten the nut pretty good. This pin of the ground clamp got bent, but I can easily unbend it. Okay, now it is prepared to put the RF board in. it is very important that the center pin of the antenna connector reaches the level of the circuit board. Now I can solder both ground connections as well as the center pin of the antenna connector. Alright, that looks good so far. Then I can solder the connections to the shielding plates again. The plates take a lot of heat, so it is necessary that I use a powerful soldering iron. The dial is also secured by a special ring, so I have to reinstall it. Then I can put the rear housing back on. Notice this copper strip here. It is connected to the ground of the battery cells and acts as an RF counterpart. To mount it is very easy. The top is hooked in, the bottom clips in and needs to be secured by 2 screws. Now I want to finally try to see if the loose connection has been fixed. I have the receiver back on the frequency of my test signal. Let's see what happens if I now wiggle the antenna. As you can see, the signal no longer fluctuates. A great success! I'm so happy now. But I have noticed, however, that the VHF reception is poor. That will require another repair, but I may do that in a separate video. How did you find my video? Was it supposed by YouTube? Was it a result of a search? Are you a subscriber? Let me know in the comments. Have a look on my links for electronic gadgets and more. If you're not already a valued subscriber, you can now become one. Have a look on my other videos and my playlists regarding 3D print, product tests, electronics, Vespa pics, cars, and more. Have a good time. I will see you next time. Bye bye.